What is up, guys? Welcome back to Late Night Shots podcast. Today we have a special thing for episode 50. We got two of my co-hosts from the past. We got Derek on the bottom. We got David on the side. So, what's up, Derek? It's been a while since you've been with us. How you
Been a hot minute. Had some family stuff going on. Now we're back and better than ever. Got all three of the boys together. Very exciting things coming for the future of this page, this YouTube channel, this TikTok. We got some great stuff coming up.
Nice. So, David, it's been like 2 days since I've talked to you. I guess we'll just hop right into it. So, the topics for discussion are, again, the possibility of five-time national champs. I think a couple of them. I think Mekhi Lewis might be the only one at this point.
Yeah.
Currently competing, yeah. I mean, I don't know. How does Yanni's situation work out since he redshirted?
That's what I was about to ask.
He can only be a four-timer because he doesn't get the free year.
That sucks.
I think that's the part. Right now, I don't think there's anybody winning that. He has to pull through, or else it's like, okay, nobody does it. And the chances of that right now,
nixed it, which sucks.
Yeah, and the chances of that right now are like,
Isn't he currently injured as well, though, Mekhi Lewis?
I don't know. I remember the whole pit wrestling thing. We were like, oh, Jake Wetzel gets the upset over defending national champ. It's like Mekhi Lewis suffered an injury in the third period.
Did he get him?
And then some dude responds to them on Twitter. It's like, oh, shit, an injury default isn't a win. And then they pull up the rule book. It's like, yeah, it is according to the rules. Well, I mean, what was it? Ben Askren and Kyle Brackey went off about this on Flow Radio Live, too. That was insane.
For me, as long as you were like up on points before the injury, like morally, that would also count as a win.
Yeah, I guess so. Again, if he was in the first period, and then yeah.
Yeah, he was beating him by at least one or two.
He was up 3-0.
Yeah,
that's huge too. Again, heavyweight nation gotta talk about the heavyweights. I think.
Yeah.
Again, Jordan Wood, Matt Stencil, both All-Americans, just became four-time conference champs in the ERWA and the MAC, respectively, right there. So they could, again, be five-time conference champs. A lot of people like to discredit it just because it's not the Big Ten. Obviously, it's going to generally yield an easier strength schedule, especially in a season like this. I think those guys are going to enter undefeated when in otherwise, Jordan Wood would have to wrestle Penn State, Oklahoma State, Minnesota, and pretty much all of them before the postseason. Remember sophomore year, Jordan Wood entered with 3 losses, and those 3 losses were to Anthony Cassar, Gable Stevenson, and Derek White. Like that.
Exactly.
And then he placed 4th. It's like what the fuck, dude? I think Anthony Cassar was the only person to score bonus points on Jordan Wood that season. And I don't even know. I think it was like a last-second takedown for a major right there. Obviously, there's a couple guys in the Big Ten who can come out and I think any freshman this year obviously has a possibility to become a 5-timer.
Definitely.
That's just being said. But looking through what freshmen are there really anybody that can do it? No, if Dylan Ragusin pulls a miracle, actually he's at 133 now. It's possible.
He's ranked at 125 on internet.
I mean, Flo has the updated rankings, I'm kind of assuming. But, yeah, because he bumped up against RBY, too. I think it might have just been like a weight cut thing. Yeah. Fix is already screwed. I think Mekhi Lewis, if Mekhi Lewis is not injured, it's possible. Brooks already lost his chance. He might have been one of them. I think Starachi and Kirkfoot are the only 2 real threats to that, right?
I could definitely – yeah, I think that's it.
Again, we went over this last episode. I don't think Starachi over Kemmer was that big of an upset.
Yeah.
I think it's an even match. I think it's just going to go that way because it's going to seem like a lot bigger of an upset because, again, people just fucking hate Iowa, and that's just really how it is now.
I think if it gets to overtime, Starachi takes it.
Yeah, again, a normal duel is different than the national finals.
Yeah.
Yep. It tends to be like the older guys take advantage of that. 165, Andrew Sparks. I'm telling you. It's historically a cursed weight class, and we know that for a bad first thing. I don't think anybody's won over 2 national titles in that.
I don't think so.
I would say Kyle Dake won 1 in that weight class, though. Jordan Burroughs only won 2. David Taylor only won 2. Isaiah Martinez only won 2. Vincenzo Joseph only won 2. Kyle Lewis only won 1. And just going back on that, You know,
I feel like if anyone is gonna beat Marinelli in the Big Ten, it's gonna be Sparks. Just because I think no one
Yeah.
really,
especially with Mass at 74.
Yeah.
no one ever blows through Marinelli. So I mean, it's definitely one of those guys that like gets determined by like a couple of like scoring exchanges.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, if you think about, weirdly enough, he's been spladled twice. I mean, he got spladled by Mark Hall, and he's been spladled by McFadden.
Yeah, he got pinned by McFadden though in Spladle.
Yeah, so I mean, if I'm thinking about, I'm gonna pull up their match right now because I mean, Andrew Sparks did not didn't score a takedown. He got
I think two of the takedowns that Marinelli got were off a shot, which were off of Sparks shots. I mean, they weren't even bad shots either. They were just shots like Marinelli kind of overpowered his way through. And it looks like if Sparks just made a couple changes right there, he might have produced a takedown. Because all you need to beat Marinelli is one takedown, shut him down.
Yeah, see, but like it's looking like at the very least, right now he's not going to stop Marinelli's post high crotch is the problem. I mean, he's very good at scrambling. I mean, that's how he beat Kyle Valencia.
Yeah.
And Valencia obviously is no slouch scrambling wise. But I mean, in terms of like, it's got to be like a different kind of like scramble. I'm of the like thought that like there's two ways to scramble. There's scrambling to score and there's scrambling to kind of like shut down your opponent's motion. Like Kyle Dake was an excellent scrambler, but I mean, he wasn't like the most exciting dude to watch because he was just so good at completely shutting down his opponent's motion. But if you look at like an exciting dude to watch scramble, it's people like RBY, Sammy Alvarez, Seth Gross, Andrew Sparks, Valencia. So, I mean, I'm looking at this, and I mean, in neutral, it kind of doesn't look great. I mean, I feel like if Sparks can get, if he can get 2 escapes and then they go into overtime, I think that's where things get interesting.
Yeah, no, I'll say that. You know, obviously, all he needs to do is the thing has to be is like a not so great match from Alex Marinelli and a good match from Andrew Sparks. It's like I was like what I've been saying. Same thing with Isaiah Martinez of Kyle Dake. Compare them, how good they are both at their peak. Kyle Dake's can be not even too far above. He's like slightly above, right?
Also, I think there's the factor that Andrew Sparks is a true freshman and Alex Marinelli has been in college for 6 years.
He's been in college for like 5, I think. It's been a while, but like you've seen that multiple times again. Zane Rutherford versus Logan Stieber. You take a guy of that caliber into deep waters, you never know how they'll react. And we've seen Alex Marinelli go down a couple times in his career, and never really turns out well for him.
Yeah, and Marinelli definitely like
stellar. He gave up.
He didn't blow through Sparks anyway.
Yeah.
Like obviously he imposed his will. He got his takedowns and Sparks didn't really do much defensively to stop him.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I mean, he's kind of defaulting to just a shin whizzer, but Marinelli kind of chain wrestles really well. But a narrow match is always a good sign, especially with a dude of Sparks' caliber, and especially considering how insane it is. Like you mentioned the last podcast, he's only been wrestling for 4 years. This is his 5th.
Yeah. And that being said, put him in that team. I think Michael Blockus is ranked now. Yeah, Patrick McKee there. Mitch McKee's there. Is Mitch McKee even there? I don't even think he's been wrestling. Whether he does or not, that's kind of whatever. You put them in that thing right there. Again, Minnesota has transformed itself into a lot better program. Like before, they were only known for really heavyweights, Dylan, Jason Ness, right?
Yeah.
Maybe
and Lezak.
And Ethan Lezak, obviously, the backpack. Now they're like more solid program. And you throw Sparks in there, a guy – He got that good off of wrestling at like a small high school and beat a kid from St. John Bosco, one of the best wrestling families out there. Throw him in the D1 program. At the beginning of the season, he loses to Alex Marinelli. A couple weeks 4 or 5 weeks makes a huge difference.
Marinelli is literally just like a physically much bigger 160. Oh, they stopped that position. Oh, well, time right now.
Are you watching the match?
I'm looking at this match, and I mean, there's room. I mean, I feel like
it's small things that could have helped Sparks complete shots. Like a couple of them weren't even for takedowns, kind of just given up by Sparks.
Yeah, I mean, the only takedown that wasn't particularly contested was again Marinelli's post high crotch, which is phenomenal.
It's like if he just doesn't let Marinelli set it up, and he needs, you don't have to win by much. You just need to win by a point. 3-2 match is still a win. right?
Yep.
And again, you see that you take a guy like Marinelli into the deep waters like that. I think the only guy who he has a great matchup against Vincenzo Joseph. We all know that.
Yeah.
And then that's like the only guy that like he was better than him that he couldn't be. Any other guy, you see Marinelli fall short pretty much every
Yeah.
time. Yeah, just looking at a lot of these things, it's like wow.
Speaking of 165 in the Big Ten, where the hell is Wick? Is he taking a redshirt year? It's a free year.
Yeah, I think it is. Dude, what the fuck? It says we got 9 minutes and 40 seconds left in this meeting.
That's fucking weird.
Oh, well, we're just going to make the best of that, I think, then. Yeah.
All right.
All right, Derek, where the fuck are you? All right, yeah, so, wow, a lot of these things. Where would you put, again, Jordan Wood and Matt Stencil in the national race, right there? I think Matt Stencil automatically shouldn't grab a 5 seed.
Yeah.
And then Jordan Wood might be a little bit of a problem because Jordan Wood did lose to Ethan Laird from Ryder. The thing is, like, they could throw Jordan Wood at like an 8, and they could also throw him at like a 15.
Well, that'd be ridiculous.
But you also have to realize he almost beat Mason Paris.
Yeah.
That's a match where it's like, oh. And again, first match, Mason Paris doesn't exactly bring back good memories for the dude, First match of NCAA, Sam Stoll whooped his ass.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It really comes down to that. It's like there's so many guys on. I've said this before. There's so many guys that have been on Mason Paris's ass. Like you never really know how it's going to go.
Yeah, Mason Paris is like a consensus number 2, just because currently it hasn't really shown how he does against top 10 guys. I mean, I don't really doubt that against anyone outside of maybe like the top 5 or 6 that he does what he did to that fellow from Maryland. But in terms of like Jordan Wood, yeah, I agree with him being probably like a 5 seed. And then I have no clue what to do with Stencil.
Stencil, I think, would get the 5 seed. Yeah, Stencil would have to get the 5 seed.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought. But my point being, Mason Paris is a consensus number 2, but he doesn't really blow through everyone the way that like Stevenson has. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that's why it'd be probably a more contested number 2.
Yeah. Looking at like we're seeing this right. Gable, just assume we're assuming Kirkley takes 3rd for this matter. All right, in the Big Ten. Mm-hmm. So then quickly we're just gonna go Gable number 1, Paris number 2, Kirkley number 3. Cassiope number 4, Stencil number 5.
That works.
Then I think it would be Luffman number 6. Just going by what's happened now. Luffman number 6 since he beat Lance. Lance number 7 since he beat Hilger. Hilger goes at number 8. And after that, I think you have to put Jordan Wood right. Ethan Laird, then Jordan Wood, which would be like a 10.
Yeah.
Right, and then they're also you see them giving precedent to like Gannon Gremmel and Carter Isley, who Hilger's undefeated against.
Yeah,
and then that brings up so many questions. So you can see a guy who's a 2-time All-American fall to like 14 seed, which is again not even bad for them. That just means more problems for guys like Paris, Kirkley, and Cassiope.
Yeah,
maybe Gable, but probably not.
Big Ten 165. And I'm this is my first time like reviewing this match really since like I first watched it. But like Sparks beating Marinelli doesn't even. It wouldn't be like something that shocks the wrestling world. I feel like because I'm watching this and I mean Sparks making adjustments mid-match to kind of stop the post high crotch, which obviously you stop the post high crotch, you kind of shut down Marinelli. I mean he's also got an excellent blast double. Yeah. I mean, but. I mean, that's what you're looking for from a guy, And then,
yeah, like again, that's a weight class. Marinelli just looks like the top guy of the season, but he's been looking like that every season. So
yeah,
go to nationals, you never really know. But Derek again, looking at field, Kirkland, where do you think he falls? It could either be first, second, or third, or even fourth.
I don't
I
think he's
see
outside
fall.
first or second.
I know I heard David say we haven't seen him wrestle top 5 material yet.
Yeah.
That kid from Maryland was not even ranked in the top 20, and he absolutely blew through him. I don't think he could blow through people like Hilger, Wood, Stevenson, obviously, Paris, Cassiope, like
What
he
was
did
it?
for that kid.
You look at U23. I think Kirkland with a torn ACL allowed drop Jordan Wood on his head.
Maybe he could do it to Jordan Wood, but
Jordan Wood's the guy again who's beaten Yusuf Hamida, beaten Trent Hilger.
I'd say, in my opinion, he's either 1 or 3. I don't see him getting. He's either winning it all or he's going to get 3rd or 4th. I don't see him. I feel like if he has to wrestle Stevenson, he's beating him. I don't see him losing.
That was a weird fucking take. I don't even know.
Nope.
I don't even know what to make of that.
1 or 3. That's it.
All right.
I don't see him as anything other than a finalist.
The thing is,
Like,
I just don't know. Like, I don't like people. People want to say like, "Oh, Paris is established. Paris is this." Like, you look at his technique. The only person that's been able to expose his like lack of technique right there is Gable Stevenson, right? And what has Gable have trouble with? Tall guys. We've been over this.
He does,
right?
yeah.
He's had trouble wrestling Yusuf Hamida. He tech folded him in freestyle, yeah, but it took him like damn near 6 minutes when Trent Hilger beat Yusuf Hamida. And Gable tech Hilger in under a little over a minute, right? And you want to talk about that. It's like Kirkland presents the strength of Tony Nelson, the frame of Yusuf Hamida, and the speed of like a fucking, I don't even know, like, people are calling him fucking XL RBY. Like,
He
that's
kind of
literally
is.
what
That's
the
a fair
man is.
comparison. He's got the
It's
same
very
diverse offense.
The match
RBY
was
can
a
really
3-2
score so many
match
ways.
the last time they wrestled, right?
And that was in high school, right?
Yeah. Kirkland's a year younger. You have to realize that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest. Who has the better coaching staff? You take Brendan Eggums, good-ass coach, and then you got Cale Sanderson, Jake Varner.
And let's just not forget about the Nittany Lion Wrestling Club, wrestling room. Snyder.
People want to compare them like they're below Iowa, but then you add
That's an incredible upperweight room.
You compare them to Iowa, once you add them, it's not even close, right?
I'm going to agree with David that they probably have the best upperweight wrestling room in the country.
Yeah, the country. You're saying the world, obviously Turkey, but that's just what that is.
Yeah.
But speaking of fucking heavyweights, dude, you know who Serrano Francisco is? I saw him. He posted a picture with the Mijan Lopez. I've never seen a man that jacked look that small before. That was insane.
It's kind of dumb to like judge how Kirkland and Stevenson goes based off a high school match, but I mean it's the last match that we've seen them wrestle. I'm watching it right now.
Kirkland you saw what I want you to look for is the one snap down that Gable hits and Kirkland transitions to like a far side sweep single. That should have already came up, I think, if you just started watching the match.
Oh.
You see that? Slow that down and rewatch that. That move that stood out to me. I don't know why. The only thing that looked like it stopped Kirkland from finishing it is Gable just being bigger and stronger than him.
Which obviously
I think that is one thing that needs to be talked about is that Kirkland was hand fighting incredibly well.
Yeah.
And especially whenever you consider the actual so snap down, duck, he kind of went to a single. Is that what you're talking about? So Gable snaps him down, they space out a bit, and then he hits a duck?
All right, so we got less than a minute left. You know what I'll do? When this meeting closes, I'll just start a new one, then stitch the videos together. Will that work?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so this has been episode 50, part 1. Apparently we fucked up the Zoom. My bad. We'll fix this after. We'll see you in part 2. All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to part 2. Sorry about that. We had something just shut down on us, so we're back at it. I'll probably stitch these two together so you won't have to look for a part 2 video, so I'm not sure if I did that or not. But, let's get back into this Kirkland versus Stevenson again. I think this is always going to be a topic that's going to come up in these podcasts until a match happens. Again, Derek, you were talking, so you can get right back into it.
And everybody listening might think it sounded weird when I said he's either getting first or third. I think if he doesn't, if he makes it to the finals, he wins. But if he somehow falls and someone somehow beats him, he's going to get third.
The problem I see here is there is a chance he can pull a 7 seed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then would that make him on Gable's side of the bracket?
I think the real problem would be is if he pulls a 4 seed, a 5 seed, or an 8 seed.
Yeah.
Or a 9
So what
seed.
if
I don't see.
that's what I'm saying, though. If he pulls an 8 seed, he'd have to wrestle Gable in the semis.
Yeah, but if you look over, what are his wins in his redshirt year? Like, nobody.
No.
Luis Fernandez is a good one, but he's in the EIWA, and he's not wrestling either this season. Jordan Wood's a good-ass win, but again, that doesn't matter anymore. Yusuf Amita's a good win. He tech-foiled Yusuf Amita. Where does that play factor in here?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Would he be seated above Hilger? When Hilger already lost to Lance, Luffman, it's like, oh.
And that's another thing we have to think about is, much like the Ohio State room, is there going to be a wrestle-off between Kirk and Neville's to see who wrestles in the Big Ten and who wrestles in the Neville's?
Kirk already won the wrestle-off.
Yeah, I was so confused when I saw him wrestle. I was like,
I don't think there's
the year.
I'll be honest, I don't think that's an actual question that needs to be answered. The wrestle-off. But after seeing Nick Neville's tech Seth, I'm pretty sure. And Kirk pinned Nick. So.
All right. So
that's just what that is.
So I've watched the snap to a single 5 times, and
it's incredible, dude. I don't know how to explain that.
It's super.
I started talking to Kirk about this one when he came on our podcast. He had no idea what the fuck I was talking about.
So Gable gets collar wrist. He switches his feet. So I feel like Gable's a dude who's his style of wrestling, especially in college, is just carried so much by footwork because he wasn't really. He was murking dudes in high school, obviously, but he wasn't outmaneuvering them to the degree that he is college heavyweights. Yeah. So I'm looking at because he swapped his feet, which you do on a snap down because you create space and move your opponent into it. Yeah. But then that's what. So you're right. He struggles against tall guys because you see, Kirk Vliet recognizes that, and so he gets to that leg. He didn't score off of it, unfortunately, because Gable's hips are friggin' insane. Yeah. But
it's now. Kirk Vliet may be the one guy who can get past that. How many guys have actually pushed Gable to the point where they even get to his legs? Gwizdowski got shut down immediately at the RTC Cup. Jordan Wood, just, let's be honest, didn't really have a chance.
Yeah, so he tries to run the pipe, but Stevenson's defense is crazy. I feel like a big factor is always going to be, one, how have these guys evolved since high school? And the answer is greatly. And secondly, size. Right? They don't weigh the same, but whenever you're Kirk Vliet's height, the leverage that you can generate by being that tall is absolutely insane. You look at how massive Nate Jackson looks at 86 kilos. Yeah. He's 6'3". That's close to Kirk Vliet, who's 6'3", 6'4".
And look how hard he is to take down, right? Look, even he bumps up a weight class to Jaden Cox, and he presented Jaden Cox with problems.
Yeah.
Kyle Snyder with problems too. We both talked about this. That matchup becomes more interesting too because they both have 6-1 wins. The only thing you can judge them off of over Nate Jackson, really. And he just comes
and then Gable took him down. Right where? Just wish that this video had a goddamn.
Gable took him down, I think, at the start of the third period.
Start of the third. Oh, it takes that.
Yeah. It was the worst shot attempt to kind of look like of the match, honestly. Great shot, but you saw a lot better attacks coming for it. So, I have an idea. We should start fucking smoking weed during this shit, just fucking Joe Rogan or some shit. Yeah.
We'd get really popular then.
Yeah, we really would. I kind of keep that as cool. I don't even.
Wait, is it the knee pick at the edge? Does he score?
No, he does not. That was a great readback sequence.
BS.
That was out of bounds. You need 2 feet in high school.
Yeah, high school out of bounds rule. They just changed. I think it is. It's college out of bounds.
Depends on which state. I know New Jersey maybe.
In Washington, it's college out of bounds.
Yeah, in
I
PA,
think it's for
college
pinfall. You have
out
to
of
have
bounds.
knees in, though. It's kind of weird.
I will never understand why the NCAA rules and high school rules just cannot be the same, especially the weight classes too.
Yeah, I think weight classes are different because how many people do you have that are on? That's why 125 has historically been one of the worst weight classes. How many grown men are built that small?
That's like in high school. How many high school seniors wrestle 106?
Yeah, because
There
you
was
have
a
to count for
dude-
like that's like the prime stage of like adolescence, right? Where
There
you're
was a
like you're
guy in
getting
our
bigger.
conference who was like he was a junior last year wrestling 106. He placed like third in state. He's now moved to Alaska. He had to measure his food like to the gram every single meal, just to like be absolutely
I don't
positive he
agree
can
with
make
that.
106.
I don't agree with
Seniors
that.
making 106 cut more weight than anyone else in any other combat sport.
Yeah, and it's so stupid because like, bro, that just means you aren't that good of a wrestler. If you have to cut to 106 that much as a senior,
Yeah,
I'll be
like
honest
that's
with
the
you
thing. Why
right
can't
now.
you bump up to 13 or 20?
Bump to 13.
Some guys
you
don't
know
like
how many
bodybuilding.
106s you see bump up to 126 just because they want to get ready for college wrestling?
Yeah, or they bump up to like 120, 113, and then get handed to them. They get handled.
Like I've said this before, in high school, a good wrestler is a good wrestler no matter the weight class.
Yeah.
Move Gable down, make him a 106. He's still gonna be a beast.
That'd be a big weight cut.
Yeah,
I
both
just
these
think
guys
that
I think started the same weight class too. It's like Kirkland is strong. People forget that he can hang with these guys, upper body.
I mean, just look at him. He's built like a brick.
And Kirkland presents
He's physically like gigantic.
And Kirkland is maybe the one guy just faster than Gable. Like, he's like Anthony Gassar. I don't think anybody would say that Greg Kirkland couldn't beat Anthony Gassar in the match because he probably would. Right.
He probably has.
Probably has, probably would. Wait, I'm not gonna speak on that till I see it. And he most likely he probably goes back and forth with Snyder too. I'll be honest. Like people don't realize like about this. People are talking about the high school weight classes. Oh, Jimmy Mullins, just this weight class isn't as good. People aren't going to realize now, but they're going to find out soon enough. Jimmy Mullen will be just as good, if not better, of a prospect coming out of high school than Gable Stevenson is.
Wrist roll.
He is insane. Jimmy Mullen.
I don't even think Gable was ranked number one in at heavyweight his sophomore
What
year.
grade is Mullen? Is he a sophomore? I was gonna say,
Mullen's
yeah.
a sophomore.
That's insane.
And to make that even crazier, 95% of the state picked against him to win a state title his freshman year. And I was one of them, I'll be honest right now. I remember talking to Jimmy about it. This shit was hilarious. He sent me a DM after he win. I should have just apologized to him.
All right, so
He was good.
I'm looking at that, and I mean, it's that wrist roll ankle pick that like Mike Mal broke down
Mhm.
in Behind the Dirt.
The one they took him down with?
Yep, I'm looking at it, and
He secures
I
both
don't think-
ankles
I don't-
so quick.
I don't think he hits something like that on Greg now. I mean,
I don't think he does either. Paris may be the guy, but Paris also puts so much weight leaning forward that's just gonna be hard to get to that. And it's easier just to work your snap downs and the quick post double that he hit on him. Going under Paris isn't as bad as you would think, from what I've seen, because his defense isn't that advanced to these guys.
I feel like going under any D1 heavyweight just sucks.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a good idea.
Obviously. I think the one guy, Cassiope, you got to get him perfectly or you're else you're fucked.
Yeah,
That's a guy who knows how to use his hips extremely well.
What's up
Stencil's
with
a guy
Iowa
who's
just pulling out these massive heavyweights? Their
Dude, like,
heavyweights
yeah,
are always just
Sam
huge.
Stoll, Tony Cassiope, Bobby
They're
Telford.
always massive. They're always built like a lumberjack.
That's how Iowa recruits, dude. I mean, they like physical, hard hand fighters. And
They're like the Bama of wrestling. It just pisses
They
me
are.
off.
Yeah. Then who's the LSU?
I don't fucking know.
Ohio State.
Probably. Good thing they got their asses handed to them by Bama. Oh, Gable just uploaded to the story.
Oh, what did he post?
Nothing really.
Picture of
Gable. Gordon Ryan followed me and he posted some things like nobody even wants to fight me. And Gable's like, I'll grapple you. And I made a post about that.
for like genuinely, no one wants to fight Gordon Ryan. Like if you're not like super into jiu-jitsu, literally this dude has been calling out everyone for like 5 years. And they're just pulling excuses out of their ass.
The
Like,
fact
I
that
want to
they got
fight you in this
Owen
rule
Pope-
set. I will
he that
fight
good?
you if you give me $2 million. It's nonsense.
Is
You
he
know-
that good though?
Yes.
Dude, Gordon Ryan's the GOAT. He's the GOAT.
Is he the Tom Brady of jiu-jitsu?
In no-gi jiu-jitsu.
No gi. Yeah.
Yeah, most
He
people don't know.
he is the GOAT, like undisputed in no-gi jiu-jitsu. And there's so many people who like just tell him like, "Oh, put on a gi and you suck." First off, the last time he did put on a gi, he was pretty fucking good. I don't think he went to like IBJJF Worlds or anything. But and then if you look at him in no-gi, he's got something like I think an 82% submission rate, which is friggin' ridiculous at the top levels of jiu-jitsu.
Dude, I remember this one post that was shitting on Zoo for 29% submission rate. That's not bad though, right?
That's awful. That's terrible.
Oh, that's terrible.
That's god awful, dude.
Is that really?
Yeah, so because that guy fights in like IBJJF, which is its own federation, and it's
Yeah.
well, okay. So
Is that 29% of wins or submissions or 29%?
29% of his wins are submissions.
How's that bad?
That's well, Gordon Ryan has an 82% submission rate,
I mean, Gordon Ryan's also the best of all time, you know?
and so this Gustavo dude,
Yeah,
he
that
likes
was
to
the
beat
one.
IBJJF rules, which are notorious for like encouraging stalling, and obviously like jujitsu, you're supposed to submit people, right? But IBJJF rules tend to reward just staying in position and racking up points and stalling. And also, whenever it goes to a decision, or whenever because the refs also have so much power in this sport. Well, it's a Brazilian sport. Kind of favors Brazilians. So, and I mean, there's so many controversial decisions in IBJJF rules. And even then, I think Gordon Ryan's like a 2-time no-gi Pan American champ.
Yeah,
Like-
I think the funniest part of this is we really got a match with Bo Nickel before anybody else stepped up to him.
I was so frustrated by that just because, like, that any time that submissions are going to be allowed. So with the Gordon Ryan Gable Stevenson thing, RBY got kind of nippy with me in a comment section because he was grappling that Aljamain Sterling guy.
Mhm.
And like, I commented, it was on like Wrestler's Grind or whatever. And I commented like, oh, there's like 3 minutes of jujitsu. He's going to get submitted. And then RBY replied to my comment saying, keep that same energy. I do jujitsu all the time. And it's like,
Did you screenshot it?
I think I should have.
Next
I
time
mean, I
you
can
need
probably
to
go
screenshot
back and
those.
find it if I'm going to be honest.
It's probably gone.
Yeah, but like, well, yeah, because he got submitted, and I
They
feel
said
like it's
no
not that
arm bars,
wrong
and
to
still
say.
got- yeah.
See, because I remember before typing that comment, like I was thinking like, oh, should I also say? But then RBY is gonna like tech him, which he didn't.
I see. What I'm going to say about that is I'm pretty sure they made that match a lot closer than it should have been.
Hmm.
When have you seen RBY get a lap drop against Austin Gomez? I think was the last time.
He got like hip tossed.
Yeah,
Did he get lap dropped?
Yeah, by Austin
I just
Gomez.
remember it
he
was
got
off the
pinned.
single leg.
Yeah, it was weird, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, that's insane. I was reading some of these comments, like, tell me, like, even if it wouldn't be that crazy match, tell me who wouldn't pay for it.
I would.
You're like, fuck
I'd
yeah,
pay to
dude.
watch Gable fight.
Dude, I'm about to
I'd
drop
pay.
Okay, so-
$5.99 on an ESPN Plus subscription. Does ESPN Plus include Natties or not?
It should.
Natties aren't ESPN?
Okay, so sorry, just coming back to the
Yeah,
Gordon
no,
Ryan
good.
thing. So just to be clear how good this dude is. 2-time ADCC world champ, which is their equivalent of the Olympics.
Okay.
First place IBJJF World No-Gi. First place IBJJF Pan American No-Gi. First place Quintet 3. First place EBI 8, which is submission only rule set under Eddie Bravo Invitational. First place EBI 11. First place EBI 14. First place Connectic 1. Don't know what that is if I'm going to be honest. First place Grappling Industries. And then second place at the ADCC World Championship. That was Absolutes in 2017. And then his main achievements in the color belt are he actually did win an IBJJF World. Oh no, that's no-gi in 2015.
So I'll be honest right now. Is there that much of difference between the gi and no gi?
So gi is a little
It's
bit
just what
slower.
you wear,
I mean,
right?
personally, I'm not like super good at jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even a wait, what is the submission rate? 83 wins, 60. Yeah, he's got an 81% submission rate. Anyways, so I mean, gi is like traditional and all that, but so because people want him to fight in the gi, but I think that's kind of pointless because he's never claimed to be the GOAT in the gi, right? I don't even know who the GOAT. I think Buchecha, but so I mean, in terms of the difference, so the gi has a lot more stalling. If you ever want to fall asleep, watch a gi Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah,
match.
because you can just grab the.
Yeah, and I mean, Gordon Ryan isn't like he's not super. So Gordon Ryan is kind of like the Spencer Lee of jiu-jitsu. He's really dominant, but he's so technical and so controlling that he's not exactly like murking people. Like if you want highlights, you got to watch a guy like Gary Tonin. But Gordon Ryan is just so many levels above everyone technically. Like for example, like I don't know if you guys heard about like it was blowing up in like all combat sports. Like he slapped that Andre Galvao dude. But anyways, so at that match, like an hour before he fought his match, he was like, "I'm gonna win this match by a mounted armbar." And then
oh my god, dude!
Yeah,
I remember seeing that post on Gordon Ryan's, and then I'm like, "Oh shit!"
He slapped the guy. I was gonna say, yeah, he slapped the hell out of him.
Yeah. Oh my god, it was so crisp.
The noise that slapped, like it was like, oof, you felt that.
Imagine getting bitch slapped like that, and then
What's that?
backing
Oh,
away.
that's the post. I'm about to go compete. I'll be finishing this one via mounted armbar.
And then he did.
Man's
Kinda
hair is
weird,
low-key
too, 'cause,
nice
like,
too. I'll be honest.
He's got this reputation as like a leg locker, which is that's an area of submissions that's like been greatly expanded upon by like his coach as of late. But most of his submissions are from the back. So rear naked chokes. But yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. But either way, we kind of gotta get back to wrestling, though. I'll be honest.
Yeah, back to wrestling.
Where does
Daniel
again like
Stevenson versus Gordon Ryan.
I don't want to say this. Can Cassiope beat Mason Paris? No.
Yeah.
I will say it's closer. It's a decision. That's what I'll say.
I think he could be like a 3-2, like something like that.
I'll say
it'll be
I'll say
close.
5-2 or 5-3. I think again we talked about this picking and choosing again. You got to say he got caught that time. Got taken just back with a reverse ankle pick. Again, you bring up what's that, the David Jensen versus Tony Cassiope match where he cross-chested him. Like, the matches were pretty close before that, right? I mean, whether you want to look it up or not is up to you. Sure, it's like second period, right? If Mason Paris has you on your back, chances are he's going to pin you. And we've seen that with the best guys. What?
I'd pick one thing as my playback speed of like 0.25, and YouTube decides that's my default setting for everything. Hunt is back from a reverse ankle pick. Oh, that's a reverse ankle pick?
When the guy has your leg and you ankle pick him?
I just think of that as an ankle pick.
No, that's a reverse ankle pick because he has your leg. Yeah, that's what we call it. That's what I call it, at least, yeah. It's like as a heavy – yeah, Mason Paris pulled out some weird counters this game. I'm not sure he's just – Cassiope may be the one guy he's more athletic than. Let's be honest.
That's the first time I've ever seen a heavyweight do that.
I think Snyder's hit it a couple times. No, I remember Snyder tried to hit it on Nick Neville's and he got taken down. Bro, I'm telling you, Neville versus...
I wouldn't call that getting caught, really. I mean, Paris did what you're supposed to do on a single leg. He got his hips square. He got his knee to the outside.
No, what I'm saying is, like, as a heavyweight, like, and any underweight, if that happens to you at 125, that's completely your fault. You're trained to know to keep that ankle back. Right?
Well, I mean, you're supposed to also keep your outside foot. See, this is where things get weird. This is what I like about wrestling. I like that it's give and take. There's no like, oh, if you do this, you're automatically in perfect position at all times, right? Because, again, in this case, you're supposed to keep your outside foot up on a single leg, but his shin was too vertical. His weight was on his heels, so just takes it.
These are, again, things you don't really have to worry about heavyweight. You kind of take for granted until they happen. So it's like you kind of have to say you got caught. You have to assume that exact situation is not going to happen again.
Mason Paris, the heavyweight Yanni.
The Mason Paris is not going to reverse ankle pick Tony Cassiope. If that happens, like, what the fuck? I don't even know what I would say.
Tony Cassiope's best attack, a snatch single. Well, besides the short offense, snatch single.
You've seen, like, he has a righty high crouch when you reach with the right arm, when you shoot with the right arm, right? Not the
Pardon?
Righty high crouch is when you shoot with the right arm, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
your
righty
shooting
high
leg's
crouch.
your shooting hand.
he can hit a knee on the shots very well too, and he can recover. He can get off that, and that's something you saw with Sam Stoll too. Like when he would take a shot, he could fall flat on his belly and still get up. Like you rarely see it. Like House, like Gable Steveson, if you get him flat on a shot, like he's just chilling there. Like he makes no effort to get up. Like Kyle Snyder too, he can't, and that's where that size kind of benefits you. He knows how to use his hips super well. So
Yeah.
if he doesn't get hit by that dump, I say there's a chance he wins. I'm not saying it's a big one though, but I also think Paris has developed a little bit more moves into his offense where he can hit the swoop singles and all that.
Yeah.
Because Paris only beat Seth Neville's 12-2. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't know if Seth Neville's got that much better or like.
He definitely looked like he improved. I could say that he definitely looked like he has improved a little bit.
I say
But I
there's
mean,
also
now,
a chance that again.
It's like for now, when will we see him wrestle again?
Mhm. It's like I've said it before. Hilger, Lance, and Luffman are all interchangeable, and Orndorff too. You know, the first time they wrestled, Orndorff lat dropped Hilger to his back for 6, and Hilger came back to win in overtime.
And especially now that we could even see a Gary Traub return, might even throw
It's like
everything.
where Gary is like Gary versus Luke Luffman would be the most insane match out there.
That would be crazy.
The gas
That would
tank.
be, I was so
Yes,
mad that they didn't let Gary wrestle at senior night. I was so
Oh,
mad.
he's injured, dude.
Oh, is he?
He got injured.
He's
against
hurt?
He got hurt
Yeah.
against Aaron Costello. I remember that. Because I turned on the match, I'm like, okay, I'll make a TikTok of Gary or Costello winning, and then Gary gets hurt. I'm like, oh shit, that's kind of rough.
I was so sad. I saw him at
Yeah.
senior night. He looked so upset. He was just standing there like, oh, this is it.
I still cannot believe Gary Traub and Ben Darmstadt were ever the same weight class.
Yeah, you would think Ben Darmstadt would be a bigger weight class than Gary.
Dude, Darmstadt looked like I watched like I think it was 182 Fargo finals like a bunch of times. He looked so much bigger then than he does now at 197.
That's a fucking slender man. I don't even know what to tell you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think we kind of strayed away from the whole topic. But Jordan Wood, does he place or does he not?
No,
No.
he's not making the podium. Close.
Well, let me do my math quick. I got Gable, Kerfoot, Paris, top 3. Cassiope, Stencil, 5. Hilger, 6.
Luffman.
I got Lance, 7. Wood, 8. Luffman, Blood Round.
Nah.
I'll take Wood 8. I'll take Wood 8.
I didn't say Wood.
Because what I
doesn't-
will say is, if I remember posting something again, Wood versus Mason Paris, right? If Wood didn't give up a crotch lock, too, he wins that match.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Wood's been doubted every year he's been in this.
Yeah, but I
Um,
just feel like the level of competition this season is so advanced at heavyweight with so many guys with so many different wrestling styles that I mean,
Yeah.
it's no hate on Jordan Wood because
Yeah.
obviously he's proved himself time and time again that he can hang with these guys. But I feel like this year there's just so many guys that have such diverse styles that he's just not going to be able to keep up.
Yeah, no, I get that, but
Because like
Then
we've
I'll
talked
say
about
that-
it many times on like how he's just a classic heavyweight wrestler. That's
No,
how he
dude,
wrestles.
if you watch him wrestle, he's extreme. He's like the most technically sound wrestler you'll see
Yeah.
at this weight class.
Mhm.
And again,
Yeah.
look at it. Like I'll say it right now, I'll take Hilger over Lance and Luffman any day in nationals. But yeah. So last take, Stencil. Where does he place? I have number 5. Number
I
4.
have him at
Four.
he's top 5. I
have
think he
number
could be
4.
interchangeable with 4 or 5.
I think he can beat Paris
Yeah.
too. If he has a good day, he beats Paris also,
I mean,
Yeah.
and possibly Kirkfit.
I don't know, but that's a stretch. Kirk's a stretch.
All right. The thing is, like, if Kirkfit goes out there and just doesn't place, nobody's in a bad eye for that.
Well, no, because I mean he is a freshman. And
Yeah,
he
that's
has a
the-
chance to still be a
it's like-
4-timer.
He has nothing to lose right there. But if he
Yeah.
does win and Gable heads out to WWE, he's probably just going to keep progressing more than anybody at this weight class, right?
Gable in WWE sounds just I just couldn't believe that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know either. But yeah, so you said it.
He's joining Jacob Casper too. That's what he's doing now.
And the other Casper brothers too.
Drew,
Like,
Drew,
yeah. So
I mean, it's not a bad
yeah,
idea. There's money in it. Like you're gonna make money no matter what. I
you're
mean,
making money wrestling too. Gable's is going to be would have been one of the bigger names in the world after this. A 20-year-old winning an Olympic medal is huge.
Yeah.
Granted, he does make the team. Kind of fits in Gwiazdowski's favor with the whole one-day trials. But yeah, so I think this is really it for this episode. So,
Right.
yeah. So, any closing words for any of you?
No, not really. I mean, it
All
was good to get 3 people in for episode 50.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it
I
was a nice
will.
discussion.
Yeah, I'll get on the right Zoom account next time. We won't have this whole crashing thing. But
All
this
right.
has been episode 50. So, huge episode today. We had some fun. We just went over a couple things. It was kind of a weird time of the season again where you just we're in the middle of a conference tournament. This isn't really anything to talk about. I could have run through the whole MAC, but who really wants to listen to that? Matt Stuntzel is the guy in the MAC, probably one of the best guys there, Brock Mahler. That's really what it is. So thank you guys for listening to Late Night Shots podcast. We will see you guys again next time.